take a look. There's the class. All right, class, I'm getting a little look here. I'm just going around saying hello. You guys can wave, go like this. It's action-packed video. There we go. There's some ad-libbing there. Vic, everybody. This has worked out well. We've had our screen set up. Came out good. Right now, we're just going to go right out here. A little bigger than the lube oil tubes, huh?
But it's an identical principle, right? So parts is parts.
But this is a flange skid. Has piping and flanges of different sizes and different locations. This can be used for maintenance, fabricating spools for training or operations, learning light maintenance type duties where you install a flange and a valve or put on a valve and a gasket and then put in a plate blind or connect something up with temporary tubing. These are great training aids and practice aids and aids to be used for testing. So, okay, here's what you need to do. Let's see you do it. Work in a team, work individually. These are some other smaller pump skids they have up here for training that work. APS stuff on them and other things. Lockout, tagout training. Great props. Very nice. This is a new one. Actually has a control valve, block valves, bleeders, bypass. Pretty self-explanatory there. Great for training process, how to lock out, tag out. Simulates true field configuration on piping. Looking at here is a glass model distillation tower. Side cuts, exchangers. This is just a great prop. There's a smaller one in Pascagoula that works very nicely. And Richmond has bought this one with funds that they share with the union from certifying training. I believe it's the ETP program. We've looked into that program, a great program for generating money for training, and it can be used for things like this. Let's zoom in. Here's a little pumps down here that are used for circulation. You can go right in, you can see the bubble caps on this. Just a great tower here. Zoom back out. We'll just get a general view of this. It's hard to get the details, but this uses like an alcohol water blend to circulate and bring it up to temperature. And it's on a cart that actually rolls. Let me go ahead and just flip a couple switches here. Power this up. All right. We're immediately getting some action. We have our feed tank up here. That's our coolant tank I just zoomed in on. And feed and side cut tanks. Various exchangers going up and down the side of the column here. So you can see they're clearly identified. I'm not going to go into much detail on this. I just want to show a couple of the items. Here's our overhead accumulator. You can see the exchanger right above it. Overhead condenser, cooler. Uses a couple of different, more lab type controllers. It doesn't have automatic controllers, but it gives you complete control. You can see I've just been running it a few moments here, and we're already generating some very clear liquid vapor traffic. So excellent to see this kind of training environment. And we've always used this as a standard of what we'd like to see and the direction we'd like to go not just in El Segundo and Richmond, but corporate wide.
With 2 students in the simulation room, room 2, and basically they're going to use the TKN TKC simulation with the trainer through ShadowPlant, and they're also going to incorporate our electronic operating manual material using the InFocus and the Guild machine.
Okay.
And they're going to integrate the two, and Scotty uses this whole simulation package the way it's intended.
Good.
Not only do they teach the curriculum for the class, they also use it for their solo and EP qualifying tests, where they use basically a subjective format where the head operator, the trainer, the shift team leader or the supervisor, and a head operator will be part of the evaluation team. They'll set down the student at the board. They'll run through normal operating procedures, startup and shutdown procedures, and emergency procedures.
Okay.
And they'll take it to as far as the simulator can support them. They'll evaluate. They have minimum criteria. Like in emergency procedures, we have immediate action steps. And they want to make sure that they perform those immediate action steps the way they're intended, and they have muscle memory or the competency to do that without having to hesitate. Some of the tools that we use, we have a layout, console layout, just like we have in the control rooms. We have the GIL that allows us to bridge the simulation, which is in the back room, with the DCS graphics in the workstation. Scotty, as the trainer, can then change the criteria, meaning that he can increase, decrease flows. He can shut down pieces of equipment to where we can simulate our emergency procedures, such as loss of feed, loss of recycled hydrogen, so on and so forth. And then as they learn the tool, they learn how to use the hardware and software. And then once they are familiar with that, then we train them using the electronic operating manual curriculum. And
Let me turn around here. I want to get a good shot of that.
Okay, so this is the training material that exists in the EOM, and then they access it and they use the InFocus to be able to bring it into the classroom, and then they can interact with it so they can look at the procedures, understand the steps in the procedures, understand the process that they're expected to be able to support with excellence when they're on the board. And then they work through that criteria, and once that's done, they go through an evaluation process. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, they'll go through an evaluation process to both solo and EP.
Yes.
Right? Okay, and I like I explained that one earlier, where yourself, the shift team leader, head operator, will come in and watch them respond to certain scenarios, and then you evaluate their responses to make sure that they have the competencies they need to be able to work the board solely and without.
Well, that's a great overview. I'm going to stand back here just to get an overview that shows drawings on the wall with the structure for the LCN and UCN. Correct. It looks like.
Correct.
So that they not only understand about the process in the plant, they understand how the systems worked out, the electrical distribution, and how we integrate
Scotty, do you have
the
anything you'd like to add
man-machine interface with the process.
Do you have anything you'd like to add about your training curriculum and how you use it?
Yeah, it's sort of it's not a very rigid plan for board operators, because board operators are pretty much expected to know the processes by the time that they get to the point where they're a control board operator. It's sort of a loose curriculum that you basically run through a lot of the startup and emergency type procedures that
Right.
They might encounter, make sure that they experience the...
This is for hands-on, real-life kind of training.
Yeah, this is to give them some experience with dealing with an emergency before it hits them in the plant.
These guys aren't breaking in; they're your board operators.
These are break-ins.
These guys aren't.
Yeah,
Great.
These are Wes is breaking into his second board, so he's got previous board experience.
All right.
But Chuck is breaking in on his first board, so
I feel broken already.
it gives them a chance to experience an emergency, you know, and see the alarms, respond in the proper way, to get experience with it before they actually see it in real life,
Right.
which is a bad way to go, is having, you know,
Well, with reliability the way it is these days, you very rarely see a upset in the plant, so the
Yeah,
more
you
time
need-
you get on the board and to see it, it keeps you trained as to how to handle that, so.
I agree.